What's up guys, welcome back to Greener Shoes, the YouTube skateboarding channel that has sustainability aspects in skate footwear. Today we're just gonna do like a little reflection video about the Nike SB Tre AD shoes. So these shoes are obviously not a new pair of shoes, they are actually pretty old. They came out when I just had started skating, and I've always been recognizing these as like the shoe of that era, you know? I remember them as like a super high-tech, really high-performance shoe. They actually cost a lot of money back in the day, but I managed to get them at this second-hand shop in Sweden called Tradera for like 10 bucks, 100 kronor. And I've been skating them for a while. They have been holding up really nice. I've gotten a lot of reactions from wearing these shoes. People saying like, oh, that's that old shoe that never blew out. And so I actually got an offer for a guy that wanted to get these or buy these off of me for some good money. So I just thought that I would make it like a little review, not go into the full specs of all the materials, because this shoe is actually pretty complicated, and to know fully how it's all constructed and what materials are getting used in this shoe, you would have to dissect everything and really get into the full rich body of the shoe. Regardless, we're gonna talk a little about the specs of the shoe, starting off maybe with the elephant in the room. This crazy rubber mesh sorta on the toe here. This texture is really coarse and it's seemingly almost impossible to wear out. I've skated them for like 3 months or so, and it took me a while to get used to the flick and everything, to see like how the material got worn down, and started like following my flip tricks and all that stuff. Moving on to another part of the shoe. The side of the shoe is made of some sort of, also like pretty plasticky leather texture. This side also has like a little texture to it. And then there's some suede up on the collar and like this leather texture around here. This upper actually breathes pretty well. Both sides have these like ventilation holes that actually blow through quite a lot of air, and you can even see like the hose actually go the entire way through, so that's pretty nice. The outsole of the shoe was also really interesting, with a groove cut and like this S shape almost. It makes the sole flex a little bit more, which I don't really see why that would be necessary, to have like a straight line down in the middle of the shoe. You don't really bend your foot in like that way, but I guess it adds to the flexibility in general, and you can also feel the midsole, which is pretty nice. This pill pattern, I think that's really interesting. I haven't really seen that in a lot of skate shoes nowadays. It reminds me sort of the Elijah Vans shoe with the like, what is it called? The Ultra Waffle Mega Grip sole. It reminds me of that, because as well as with that shoe, rocks and pebbles actually get stuck in the pattern. And on the highest wear area down here, where you flick the most, you have this like traditional herringbone pattern. It's starting to wear out, which is perfectly fine, because like I said, I'm not gonna be skating there for any time anymore. The impact protection of the shoe is mainly composed out of this midsole. I saw like a cut in half video of these shoes, or like a similar shoe that used the same midsole outsole combination, and I feel like that's where you get the most out of your impact protection. There was insole when I got them, but they didn't really, I don't think they were like a part of the shoe. So I switched insoles to just a standard Ortholite insole, and didn't really affect the shoe at all, but it feels pretty nice. Looking at the inside of the shoe, It has like a little zoom air unit right at the heel, and it's fairly padded. It has like a little shank in there as well, making it the arch of your foot pretty hard and stiff. And also the inside of the shoe featured like this sock construction, which I think was pretty new at the time. Like I said, I usually prefer mid or high tops because I feel like they lock your foot down better and they also protect your ankles right here. This shoe is obviously like a lower cut, but it does lock you in fairly nice in the heel here. And I don't really know if you can see that. There we go. And it has like a little extra padding right there that is pretty similar to America's newer shoes with the heel anchor system. Also, the material on the inside of the shoe also gripped your sock really well, so that you always feel like your foot is locked down. One last thing is the shoe having these sort of lace protectors. Can't really see it that well because I'm not super sure that it was actually made to be like a lace protector, because these two panels made to protect your laces was actually, you had to separate them at first. When I got them to separate, they seemed like they were supposed to be that way, and I couldn't really figure that out either. And I forgot to mention another thing. When I got these shoes, they were all like, the entire upper almost was gray. Like the rubber part here was gray. You can sort of see that they're coming back together, or coming back around, turning gray again. But I actually painted these shoes, which I found was maybe not the best move, but at least I got to enjoy them a little bit more aesthetically. And I just thought that this, like with the gray toe cap, this weird purple color here, the side was sort of light blue, and then the collar again was like this gray. Color-wise, it didn't really make sense to me, but either way, I mean, they held up fine aesthetically. Again, it's important that you know and you enjoy what you're skating in, and because you're looking down at your feet all day long, and you should feel comfortable in it. Like I said, it's an interesting construction and a fairly advanced shoe, very technically advanced, but still there's just something off. I'm super convinced that all the materials used in the shoe are very durable, very hard to wear through, and they wear out pretty nice. They feel nice when you skate them, all that stuff. And all the specs in the shoe are made with skateboarding in mind. However, like I said before in the Nike video, using plastics in a shoe might not be the best even for skateboarding, seeing as even though it wears out like really slowly, you have to feel connected with your shoe. You have to really enjoy your shoe, or you won't skate as good. It definitely looks a little older, like a past silhouette that hasn't really aged that well, and the materials just feel so unnatural that I get very easily distracted when looking down at this shoe. So what this video is really supposed to be is comparing, I guess, an older shoe, the standards of that time, taking all the technology in the shoe in mind and comparing that to modern day standards. I think there's like a discussion about that in itself. It might not be like sustainability touched, but since we as skateboarders consume a lot of shoes and a lot of product in general, I think that it's really important to have aesthetics in mind. As soon as you get a pair of shoes, you're going to be wearing them for a while. So it's really important that you feel comfortable in your shoes and you enjoy them. Alright, I guess that sums everything up. Tell me what you think, if these are greener shoes or not. If there is a good argument for using more synthetic, super durable materials, specifically in skateboarding shoes, because we do wear our shoes really hard and they get torn out for many people, like even after a month or so they're done. Is there a point to that? Is there any other argument that I missed? What do you think about these shoes? Do Do you remember them? Did you have a pair when they just came out? And what's your experience with these shoes? Alright, that's it for the video. Like, comment, subscribe if you want to. The entire project with the greener shoes is just a side project that I'm doing as I'm studying product design. So I just want to have a discussion about skate footwear in general, specifically from a sustainability aspect. So if you have any comments about that as well, hit me up. I'm always down. I read every comment. Like, there are 3 right now. Peace out. All in all, I think that's how your shoes feel. The technology, one last thing. I definitely think it was a little sort of new for the time. Let's see. There we go. Yeah. Alright guys, that's it.